Growing a mixture of plants as much of the year as possible on our soil is probably one of the best tools we have to improve the health of our soil. But how do we achieve this in our vegetable garden beds? In this video, I'm going to show you how we're exploring using cover crops as living mulch and growing our vegetables in amongst them. It's helping improve our soil, but it's also reducing our fertilizer costs. Like a lot of gardeners, when I'm not growing vegetables, I have make sure my soil is covered in mulch. It's all obviously good practice. And when I get my act together, I also use green manure crops. But it's a lot of work. So now we're experimenting with cowpeas. It's not ideal. It would be great to have some more species in there, and we're going to experiment with those later. I'm going to try sorghum and I'm going to try millet. But the cowpeas are a legume, so they're building the nitrogen in their soil. And as you can see, they're producing quite a nice cover of living plants, and they self-seed easily, and so we're not having to keep buying or spreading seed, and continuously dropping leaves, a living mulch onto our soil. So that's all great news for us. It's reducing, the amount of work we have to do. But what are the practical benefits for our soil? What makes having plants growing and producing living mulch rather than just mulch? How does that make our soil so much better, so much healthier? Well, primarily it's because we now know that about 25 to 30% of the sugars that they produce through photosynthesis, they put out through their roots. Now, when scientists first found out that plants, or some plants, were doing that, they thought there was something wrong with the plants, and so they called it the leaky root syndrome. We now know better. We know that it's a strategy that the plants are using. It concentrates microbes around their roots. And what happens is the plants are able to better access the nutrition they need, but because they're supporting the populations of microbes, and the microbes are supporting populations of the other living organisms in our soil, all of this is a great strategy to improving the structure of our soil, and therefore the root penetration, the amount of rainfall that goes into our soils, and also the water holding capacity and nutrient holding capacity, and also the humus formation, the sort of long-term sequestration of carbon. So all great things for growing healthier plants.
So how are we establishing the pumpkins? Basically, we're just making a hole in the cover crops and planting out pumpkin seedlings, quite advanced ones, so they have a good start, and letting them grow out over the cowpeas, and the cowpeas are still growing underneath.
I'm excited about how this has turned out. I mean, just getting so many pumpkins, and it's in a way that's really low maintenance. It's manageable. I don't have to mulch it. I don't have to dig the gardens. The soil is getting better. It's a win-win situation. Lovely pumpkins that are growing.